Today, we'll be remembering American celebrities who passed away today and in the past few days, along with other notable figures from around the world. Before we begin, we kindly ask you to show your support by giving this video a like. It truly means a lot to us. Thank you, and now let's begin. Mike Berry, a cherished figure in British music and television, passed away peacefully at the age of 82 on March 21, 2025, surrounded by family. Known affectionately as the British Buddy Holly, Berry built a remarkable 64-year career that bridged rock and roll's golden era and the world of classic British comedy. Born in Northamptonshire in 1942 and raised in North London, Berry first captured hearts with his 1961 tribute to Buddy Holly, which launched a music journey that saw him sharing stages with the Beatles and the Rolling Stones. His heartfelt vocals gave life to hits like Don't You Think It's Time and the gold-certified Sunshine of Your Smile, which charted in the top 10 in 1980. His voice, warm, expressive, and timeless, remained vibrant through sold-out performances well into his later years, including a final show in February 2025. Beyond music, Berry became a familiar face on British television. He charmed audiences as Mr. Spooner on Are You Being Served? And appeared in the beloved series Wurzel Gummidge. His acting was praised for its sincerity and gentle humor. Friends and fans remember Mike Berry not only for his talent, but for his kindness and joy. His legacy endures through songs that touched generations and performances that continue to bring smiles. Larry Tamblyn was a pioneering American musician whose legacy helped shape the sound of 1960s rock. Born on February 5, 1943 in Los Angeles, Larry was surrounded by creativity from a young age. His brother is actor Russ Tamblyn, and his niece, Amber Tamblyn, would go on to become a celebrated actress and poet. But it was Larry's own journey that left a lasting mark on American music. In 1962, Larry co-founded the Standells, a garage rock band that captured the spirit of the era with raw energy and gritty, unforgettable songs. As the band's frontman and keyboardist, he led them to national recognition with their 1966 hit, Dirty Water, which still echoes through stadiums whenever the Boston Red Sox or Bruins secure a win. The song became a cultural anthem, forever tied to celebration and rebellion. Larry's career extended far beyond one hit. He kept performing, writing, and recording well into his later years. In 2013, the band released their final album, Bump, and Larry was inducted into the California Music Hall of Fame in 2023, a tribute introduced by his brother Russ. On March 21, 2025, Larry passed away at age 82. He is remembered as a musical trailblazer who never stopped creating and connecting through his art. His music, and the joy it brought, will live on for generations. Robert John, born Robert John Pedrick Jr. on January 3, 1946 in Brooklyn, New York, began singing professionally at just 12 years old. First known as Bobby Pedrick Jr., he charted in the late 1950s with White Bucks and Saddle Shoes. But it wasn't until the late 1970s that his soaring falsetto and heartfelt storytelling would make him a household name. His 1979 ballad, Sad Eyes, a tender song of love and farewell, captivated listeners and soared to #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, earning him a Grammy nomination. Few could forget its raw honesty, delivered in a voice as delicate as it was powerful. Just 7 years earlier, his cover of The Lion Sleeps Tonight had reached #3, proving Robert John's rare ability to reinvent classics and create unforgettable originals. Beyond the charts, Robert worked behind the scenes as a background vocalist, producer, and songwriter, even contributing to Motown. Though industry challenges led him to briefly step away, He returned in 1978, teaming with producer George Tobin to create his biggest hit. In recent years, Robert had been recovering from a stroke, and on February 24, 2025, he passed away at age 79, surrounded by family. He is survived by 4 sons, grandchildren, and his longtime partner, Susan. Robert John leaves behind a voice and legacy that continue to echo in the hearts of music lovers everywhere.
Make wind, God maybe, don't miss wind.
Michael Hurley was a singular voice in American folk music, raw, poetic, and wholly his own. Born on December 20th, 1941 in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, Hurley grew up surrounded by music, traveling with his father, a producer of musicals. His earliest songs, crafted without formal training, radiated an offbeat charm that would become his signature. At just 22, Hurley released his debut album First Songs Through Folkways, recorded after a chance meeting with folklorist Fred Ramsey. From there, he carved out a deeply personal path through the music world, eschewing fame, embracing simplicity, and letting his eccentric stories and cartoonish artwork speak volumes. He sang of werewolves, biscuit rollers, and the beautiful oddities of life. His 1971 album, Armchair Boogie, and his contributions to the cult classic Have Moisey cemented his status as a godfather of freak folk. Over the next 5 decades, Hurley quietly released more than 30 albums, often illustrating the covers himself. He built a home for his music with Bellmead Phonics and later found new fans through indie labels. His final album of new songs, The Time of the Foxgloves, arrived in 2021, and he performed live until just days before his passing in Oregon, following recent concerts in Tennessee and North Carolina. Michael Hurley passed away in March 2025 at the age of 83. His life was a celebration of originality, humor, and deep artistic honesty, qualities that continue to inspire generations of musicians who ask, what would Michael Hurley do? Chris Jasper was a classically trained musician who helped shape the sound of modern R&B, leaving behind a legacy that resonated with generations. Born in Cincinnati, Ohio, and raised in the same neighborhood as the Isley family, Chris began studying classical piano at age 7 and later honed his craft at the Juilliard School in New York. In 1973, he joined the Isley Brothers, helping transform them from a vocal trio into a groundbreaking 6-member funk and soul powerhouse. With his signature style on keyboards and synthesizers, Chris co-wrote and arranged some of the group's most iconic hits, For the Love of You, Fight the Power, and Between the Sheets. His influence was pivotal in creating the smooth yet powerful sound that defined a generation. Following his time with the Isleys, Chris co-founded Isley Jasper Isley, scoring a #1 hit with Caravan of Love. As a solo artist, he released 17 albums, including gospel projects and chart-topping singles like Superbad, which promoted education and empowerment. Chris Jasper passed away on February 23, 2025, following a brief battle with cancer. He was 73. Remembered as a genius musician, devoted family man, and creative pioneer, his melodies continue to inspire and uplift hearts around the world.
Take good care, baby, let me know.
Joey Molland, born in Liverpool in 1947, was more than the last original member of Badfinger. He was the heart that kept its rhythm alive for decades. He passed on March 2, 2025, at age 77, surrounded by family, following a series of health challenges, including complications from diabetes, pneumonia, and a severe bacterial infection that affected vital organs. Molland joined Badfinger in 1969, just as the group signed with Apple Records. Their Paul McCartney-penned hit, Come and Get It, set the tone for a string of classics, including No Matter What, Baby Blue, and Day After Day. As the band's guitarist and co-vocalist, Joey brought melodic sensibility and soulful grit to each performance. His playing and songwriting were pivotal to the group's distinctive sound, bridging British rock with American pop soul. After the band's original lineup faded, Joey carried the torch through his solo work and decades of touring under Joey Molland's Badfinger. He also contributed to solo projects from George Harrison and John Lennon, forever tying his name to the legacy of the Beatles. Fans remember him not just for the music, but for the man, humble, generous, and always willing to connect. Whether on stage or signing autographs, Joey made everyone feel like an old friend. His voice, his guitar, and his spirit remain in every note he ever played. John Sykes, the British guitar virtuoso whose sound defined a generation of hard rock, passed away in January 2025 at the age of 65, following a courageous battle with cancer. Known for his searing solos and soulful songwriting, Sykes made an indelible mark with bands like Thin Lizzy, Whitesnake, and Blue Murder. Born in Reading, England in 1959, Sykes picked up the guitar as a teenager and quickly emerged as one of the most exciting talents of the new wave of British heavy metal. He rose to prominence with Thin Lizzy, contributing to their powerful final album Thunder and Lightning, before joining Whitesnake and helping to create their blockbuster 1987 self-titled album. That record, featuring Still of the Night and Is This Love, went on to sell over 20 million copies worldwide. Although he was unexpectedly let go before the album's tour, Sykes didn't fade. He formed Blue Murder and later carried Thin Lizzy's torch for a new generation. His signature guitar tone, a blend of melodic precision and raw power, earned him admiration from fans and peers alike. In his final days, Sykes expressed deep gratitude to his fans. His music lives on, as bold, passionate, and unforgettable as the man who made it. Do you remember the first time you heard "Gimme Little Sign"? That voice, bright, smooth, and full of heart, belonged to Brenton Wood, a true soul music original. Born Alfred Jesse Smith in Shreveport, Louisiana, he found his voice in the church, his groove in California, and his name from the Brentwood neighborhood that shaped his dreams. Brenton's rise began in 1967 with the Oogum Boogum song, a playful, poetic hit that danced across radios and lowrider speakers from coast to coast. That same year, he struck gold again with "Gimme Little Sign," a timeless anthem of longing that climbed to number 9 on the Billboard charts. He wasn't just a singer, he was the neighborhood storyteller, calling up friends and asking, "What do you think of this line?" His fans became his muses. In the 1970s, he launched his own label, Prophecy Records, and remained a fixture in East LA's Chicano soul scene. Even as the charts shifted, his music lived on, featured in Almost Famous, The Umbrella Academy, and Big Little Lies. In 2024, he launched a farewell tour that reminded everyone why he mattered. Brenton Wood passed away from natural causes at 83, surrounded by loved ones. But his music? It still sings, and always will. What's your favorite Brenton Wood memory? Let us know in the comments. Dwayne Wiggins was a musical visionary whose sound shaped a generation and whose mentorship lifted future stars to their feet. Born and raised in Oakland, California, Dwayne found his calling at age 11 with a guitar in hand. In 1986, he joined forces with his brother Raphael Sadiq and cousin Christian Riley to form the R&B group Tony, a name that would soon become synonymous with smooth melodies and heartfelt storytelling. As the group's guitarist, vocalist, and creative soul, Wiggins helped craft timeless tracks like Anniversary, It Never Rains in Southern California, and Lay Your Head on My Pillow. Their fusion of R&B, soul, gospel, and funk left an indelible mark on the New Jack Swing movement, producing 5 number-1 R&B hits and becoming staples of romantic soundtracks across America. Beyond the spotlight, Wiggins became a pillar of his community, founding grassroots entertainment and guiding the early careers of Destiny's Child, Keisha Cole, Zendaya, and H.E.R. His influence spanned decades and genres, from Alicia Keys to the Bay Area hyphy scene. After a year-long battle with bladder cancer, Wiggins passed on March 7, 2025, at age 64. But his legacy plays on in every soulful chord, every artist he lifted, and every memory shared under his musical light.
Get up now. Listen. Keep the fires burning. Keep the fires.
Gwen McCrae was a powerhouse of soul whose voice lit up dance floors and hearts alike. Born on December 21, 1943, in Pensacola, Florida, Gwen began her musical journey in church, rooted in gospel traditions that would shape her distinct and emotional vocal style. In the 1970s, she found her groove with Miami's iconic TK Records, where her sound, equal parts soul, funk, and feeling, helped pave the way for the disco era. Her breakout hit, Rockin' Chair in 1975, soared to number 1 on the R&B charts and cracked the top 10 on the Billboard Hot 100. With a sultry groove and Gwen's unmistakable voice, it became an instant classic. Over the years, she recorded tracks that would later be sampled by generations of artists, including 90% of Me Is You and All This Love That I'm Given. Though her chart success slowed in the US, Gwen's popularity blossomed overseas, especially in the UK, where she was revered as the Queen of Rare Groove. In 2012, Gwen suffered a stroke that ended her touring career. On February 21, 2025, she passed peacefully in Miami from complications related to that stroke. Gwen McCrae's music continues to inspire and uplift. Her legacy is one of soul, strength, and a voice that will echo through time.
Think I'll go somewhere and cry myself to
Melba Montgomery was a treasured voice in American country music, a bold, heartfelt performer whose harmonies helped define an era. Born on October 14, 1938, in Iron City, Tennessee, and raised in Florence, Alabama, Melba found her voice early in church and family jam sessions. Her natural talent led her to a Nashville talent contest at age 20, where she caught the attention of Roy Acuff and began touring with his band. In 1963, her career took a pivotal turn when she teamed up with George Jones. Their duet, We Must Have Been Out of Our Minds, which Melba wrote herself, became a top 10 hit and marked the beginning of a groundbreaking chapter in country duet history. She would go on to record memorable songs with Gene Pitney, Charlie Louvin, and others, each time bringing an unmistakable emotional power to the music. Her solo career flourished as well, especially with 1974's No Charge, a #1 country hit that touched hearts across America. In the decades that followed, she continued writing for stars like George Strait and Patti Loveless. After years of quiet resilience, Melba passed peacefully from complications of dementia on January 15, 2025, at age 86. Her music, marked by sincerity and strength, remains a lasting part of country music's soul.
I've learned what life's about by loving you.
Wayne Osmond, a cherished member of the iconic Osmond family, passed away on January 1, 2025, at the age of 73, due to complications from a stroke. Born Melvin Wayne Osmond on August 28, 1951, in Ogden, Utah, he was the fourth of 9 children in a devout Latter-day Saints household. Wayne's musical journey began in 1958, when he and his brothers formed a barbershop quartet, performing for their church congregation. Their talent led them to national fame, especially after appearances on The Andy Williams Show. As the Osmonds, they achieved significant success in the 1970s with hits like One Bad Apple and Crazy Horses, the latter showcasing Wayne's rock influences and musical versatility. A multi-instrumentalist with perfect pitch, Wayne contributed significantly to the group's sound, playing guitar, saxophone, and more. His musical arrangements and songwriting were integral to the band's evolution from pop to rock. The Guardian. In his personal life, Wayne married Kathleen White in 1974, and together they had 5 children. Despite facing health challenges, including a brain tumor in 1997 that led to hearing loss and a stroke in 2012 affecting his ability to play guitar, Wayne remained optimistic and continued to inspire those around him. Wayne's legacy is one of faith, resilience, and musical excellence. His contributions to the Osmonds and his unwavering spirit left an indelible mark on fans and the music industry alike. With heartfelt respect, we remember Garth Hudson, a musical visionary whose unique sound forever transformed the landscape of American roots rock. Born in 1937 in Windsor, Ontario, Garth was a classically trained keyboardist, a genius of improvisation, and the quiet creative force behind the band. His signature Lowrey organ, clavinet riffs, and rich saxophone tones brought unforgettable life to timeless songs like Up on Cripple Creek, The Weight, and Chest Fever. Garth was more than a musician. He was an architect of feeling, shaping each track with nuance and soul. As the last surviving original member of the band, he held a special place in the story of 1960s and 70s music, performing alongside legends like Bob Dylan and contributing to the iconic basement tapes sessions that helped define the Americana genre. Despite facing health challenges in his later years and living quietly in a nursing home in Woodstock, New York, Garth never stopped inspiring through his music. On January 21, 2025, he passed peacefully in his sleep at age 87 from natural causes. Garth Hudson's legacy lives on in every note of the band's rich catalog, a legacy built not on spotlight, but on soul. His music continues to echo with grace, passion, and the spirit of collaboration that made the band so beloved. Johnny Tillotson was a voice that defined a generation, smooth, sincere, and full of heart. Born in Jacksonville, Florida, he rose to fame in the early 1960s with the timeless hit Poetry in Motion, a song that danced across radio waves and straight into the hearts of millions. It climbed to number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100 and marked the beginning of a remarkable journey in American pop and country music. He followed with beloved hits like It Keeps Right On a Hurtin' and Talk Back Trembling Lips, earning 2 Grammy nominations along the way. Elvis Presley, Dean Martin, and Bobby Darin all covered his songs, a testament to his impact and the emotional depth of his songwriting. In the later chapters of his life, Johnny faced the quiet challenges of Parkinsonism, but true to form, he continued to share his music and gratitude with fans. Just days before his passing on April 1, 2025, he released a new single, Everything I Touch Turns to Blue, a gentle reminder of his enduring creativity. Johnny Tillotson leaves behind a legacy of love, melody, and grace. Do you remember the first time you heard Poetry in Motion? Share your memories in the comments below. His music lives on in all of us.
Darkness, darkness, be my pillow, take my head.
If you've ever found comfort in the words, "Come on people now, smile on your brother," then Jesse Colin Young's voice has likely touched your heart. Born Perry Miller in 1941, Jesse rose to prominence as the lead singer of the Youngbloods, whose 1969 anthem, Get Together, became a symbol of unity during one of America's most turbulent decades. Though he didn't write the song, Jesse made it his own, delivering it with a warmth and sincerity that still resonates across generations. Did Get Together ever carry you through a moment of change? Let us know in the comments. After the band parted ways in 1972, Jesse forged a solo path filled with introspection and storytelling. Albums like Song for Julie reflected his love of nature, family, and rural life. Despite facing chronic Lyme disease for years, he found healing, returned to the stage, and even inspired younger musicians, including his own son. On March 16, 2025, Jesse Colin Young passed away at age 83 in his South Carolina home, due to complications from heart-related illness. His wife Connie shared the news, surrounded by love. Jesse's voice carried a message of peace and togetherness. And today, more than ever, we remember the man who reminded us to get together and love one another right now.
Say, hey, have you heard blue whiskey's the rage? I'll send you a jug.
Marianne Faithfull, the British singer and actress who captivated generations with her honesty, artistry, and resilience, passed away peacefully in London on January 30th, 2025, at the age of 78. Her family shared that she had been living with long-term health challenges, including complications from COVID-19. Faithfull rose to fame in the 1960s with her haunting debut single, As Tears Go By, becoming a defining voice of swinging London. But her journey was never just about fame. It was about survival and transformation. After years marked by hardship and loss, she returned in 1979 with the groundbreaking album Broken English, her raspy voice and raw lyrics signaling an artist reborn. Her later albums, including Strange Weather and Negative Capability, earned critical acclaim and a new generation of admirers. She worked with musical icons like Nick Cave and PJ Harvey, and was honored by the French government for her contributions to the arts. Through illness, reinvention, and artistic triumph, Marianne never stopped evolving. Her voice, gravelly, elegant, unafraid, became a vessel for truth and vulnerability. How has her music touched your life? Do you have a favorite Marianne Faithfull song that brings back memories? Share it in the comments below.
Memories don't live like people do, except for it.
Angie Stone's voice was more than soulful. It was generational. A pioneer of hip-hop and a queen of neo-soul, her songs echoed through decades, touching hearts across time. On March 2nd, 2025, Angie's remarkable journey came to an end after a tragic car accident near Montgomery, Alabama. She was 63. According to authorities, the van she was riding in overturned and was struck by a truck. She was the only passenger who did not survive. Born in Columbia, South Carolina, Angie's musical roots began in gospel and blossomed into a groundbreaking career. In the late 1970s, she helped form The Sequence, the first all-female rap group signed to a major label, breaking barriers with the hit Funk You Up. Her solo career soared in the early 2000s with timeless tracks like No More Rain in This Cloud and Wish I Didn't Miss You, becoming a staple of the neo-soul era. She overcame personal struggles, including a heart condition, and used her journey to inspire others, losing weight, regaining her health, and returning to the stage with renewed purpose. Angie's legacy lives on, not just in her chart-topping hits, but in her resilience, her honesty, and her message of love and empowerment. What song of Angie's touched your heart the most? Tell us in the comments. Her music still speaks to us all. Breaking news. Paul McCartney, a legend. Still in motion. Why fans are emotional over his latest career. Chapter. Paul McCartney, the iconic singer, songwriter, and former Beatle, continues to move hearts and stir headlines at the age of 82. For fans around the world, his name is more than just music. It is memory, resilience, and timeless creativity. But now, with surprising updates about his recent endeavors and renewed public appearances, fans are shedding tears not of sorrow, but of awe and admiration. So, what is the latest with Sir Paul McCartney? Born in Liverpool on June 18, 1942, Paul McCartney's journey began like that of many dreamers, with a guitar, a notebook, and big ambitions. Everything changed in 1957 when he met John Lennon and joined the Quarrymen, which would later evolve into the Beatles. Alongside Lennon, George Harrison, and Ringo Starr, McCartney helped revolutionize modern music. From Yesterday to Let It Be, his songwriting left an indelible mark on the world. Yet, success came with its own shadows. When the Beatles disbanded in 1970, Paul found himself lost in a silence he had never known. The world moved on quickly, but for Paul, there was a deep sense of absence, not just of the band, but of purpose. He later admitted to struggling emotionally during this period, even questioning whether he could ever find the same spark again. But Paul McCartney is not one to linger in despair. He gathered strength from love, particularly from his late wife Linda, and formed a new band, Wings. Together, they soared with hits like Band on the Run and Leave and Let Die, proving that lightning could indeed strike twice. From there, his solo career flourished with over 24 albums, global tours, and collaborations across generations. Still, life tested him further. Linda's passing left a profound void, and Paul retreated into himself, openly admitting he cried for nearly a year. And yet, once again, music became his medicine. He returned, more introspective but still inspired, carrying not just his legacy, but his love and loss into every note he played. Today, Paul McCartney is defying expectations in the most graceful of ways. While many artists his age have long retired, McCartney continues to headline major tours, including his recent Got Back World Tour, which drew tens of thousands to arenas in Europe and the Americas. Each performance is a celebration, not just of his music, but of his vitality. So, what is his secret? It may lie in the simplicity of his lifestyle. Paul has embraced a plant-based diet for decades and maintains a routine of stretching, walking, and staying active. He avoids extremes, favoring consistency and balance, and most importantly, he remains creatively fulfilled. Whether recording new songs, writing books, or hosting his lyric-based podcast, McCartney stays curious, always exploring, always expressing. But fans are emotional now for more than just admiration. They are sensing a new chapter unfolding. Paul recently announced the release of a book chronicling his years with Wings, complete with never-before-seen photographs and untold stories. He has also shared intimate reflections in his podcast, A Life in Lyrics, where he openly discusses his creative fears, humorous blunders, and the moments that shaped him. He even revealed a tender habit, speaking to a tree in his garden, planted in memory of George Harrison. In that quiet ritual, fans saw not just a rock legend, but a friend mourning his bandmate, finding comfort in nature and memory. What stands out most, perhaps, is how Paul McCartney makes aging look less like a decline and more like an evolution. His recent surprise performance in New York City, a 500-seat venue, intimate and electric, reminded everyone that the fire in him still burns brightly. The voice may be seasoned, but the soul behind it remains ageless. Through it all, Paul has remained untouched by scandal. While the entertainment world often spins with controversy, Paul has kept his legacy clean, grounded in gratitude, humility, and heart. His interviews reflect wisdom without bitterness, humor without cynicism. And what do his fans feel? Pride, nostalgia, gratitude. As they witness this living legend continue to create, perform, and reflect, there is a growing emotional connection. It is not just about the music anymore. It is about seeing someone age with grace, dignity, and creativity intact. Paul McCartney's story is far from over, and as this new chapter unfolds, it becomes clear. We are not simply watching a rock star age. We are witnessing an artist in full bloom, even in autumn. So tell us, what does Paul McCartney mean to you? What song brings back your most cherished memory? Let us know in the comments as we celebrate the heart, health, and harmony of one of music's most enduring legends.
For when I wanted you, I was so...
Our next story honors a voice that shaped both soul music and public service, the remarkable Jerry Butler. Before we begin, we want to hear from you. What is your favorite Jerry Butler song? Drop your pick in the comments below. Let's celebrate his music together. Jerry Butler, affectionately known as the Iceman, passed away peacefully at age 85 following a private battle with Parkinson's disease. For many, his name brings back the golden era of soul and a baritone voice that could calm storms. Born in Mississippi and raised in Chicago's Cabrini Green housing projects, Butler's journey was one of resilience. He co-founded The Impressions with Curtis Mayfield and co-wrote their first hit, For Your Precious Love, in 1958, a track some consider the first true soul record. He went on to a prolific solo career, delivering chart toppers like Only the Strong Survive and He Will Break Your Heart. Collaborating with producers Gamble and Huff, he helped shape the sound of classic R&B, but music was just the beginning. In 1985, Butler transitioned into politics, serving over 30 years as a Cook County commissioner in Illinois. He used his influence to uplift communities and create opportunities for others, proving that a voice can change lives, whether in song or in service. What stands out most to you? His music or his public service? Let us know below. Jerry Butler's legacy reminds us that strength, soul, and compassion can truly go hand in hand.
That's will it take till he knows that too many people...
Peter Yarrow, the folk singer and activist whose voice helped shape a generation, passed peacefully at home in New York City on January 7, 2025, at the age of 86, following a long battle with bladder cancer. As a founding member of the iconic trio Peter, Paul, and Mary, Yarrow's music brought harmony to turbulent times and became a soundtrack for change. Born in New York in 1938, Yarrow found his purpose in music early. With Noel Paul Stookey and Mary Travers, he released hits like If I Had a Hammer, Blowin' in the Wind, and the beloved Puff, the Magic Dragon, which he co-wrote. Their rendition of Bob Dylan's songs helped bring the young songwriter to national attention, and their performance beside Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. at the March on Washington became history. Do you remember the first time you heard Puff the Magic Dragon? What did it mean to you then, and what does it mean now? Beyond the stage, Yarrow remained deeply committed to social causes. He founded Operation Respect, an anti-bullying initiative that reached thousands of schools. Even during his cancer treatments, which included major surgery and immunotherapy, he continued to perform and speak out. His daughter Bethany remembered him as a fearless dragon, a man who believed singing together could change the world, and for many, it did. Yarrow's spirit was never just in the songs, it lived in his causes, his courage, and his compassion. What's your favorite Peter, Paul, and Mary memory? Was it a concert, a song, or simply a moment of peace you found in their music? Tell us below. We'd love to hear your story.
With his fingers, singing my life with his words.
Roberta Flack, the voice behind Killing Me Softly, passes peacefully at 88. Roberta Flack, the legendary singer and pianist whose voice gave the world timeless ballads like The First Time Ever I Saw Your Face and Killing Me Softly with his song, passed away peacefully on February 24, 2025, at the age of 88. Her manager confirmed the cause as cardiac arrest, following her public battle with ALS. Born in Black Mountain, North Carolina, Flack was a musical prodigy, earning a scholarship to Howard University at just 15. Her breakthrough came when Clint Eastwood featured her haunting rendition of "The First Time Ever I Saw Your Face" in Play Misty for Me, catapulting her to stardom. Flack went on to win back-to-back Grammys for Record of the Year, a rare feat, and became known for her collaborations with Donny Hathaway, including Where Is the Love and The Closer I Get to You. Her smooth, elegant style brought soul music into the mainstream with grace and intelligence. In her later years, after being diagnosed with ALS, Roberta could no longer sing, but she never lost her connection to music. She continued to write and inspire, publishing a heartfelt children's book, The Green Piano, in 2023. Roberta Flack leaves behind a legacy of gentleness, artistry, and quiet strength. Her songs remain eternal companions for those who seek beauty and truth through music.
That is how I know you go on.
Breaking news. Our latest story centers on a global music legend, a voice that has stirred souls and broken records for over 4 decades. Of course, we are talking about none other than the extraordinary Celine Dion. And before we dive in, what is your favorite Celine Dion song? From 0 to 100, how much does her music mean to you? Tell us in the comments. We want to hear your heart. Celine Dion, the powerhouse vocalist behind anthems like My Heart Will Go On and The Power of Love, has been a beacon of strength and vulnerability, beauty and bravery. But now, headlines around the world are buzzing again, not for a new album or tour, but for something even more personal: her incredible journey of resilience, healing, and hope. Born in the small town of Charlemagne, Quebec, Celine was the youngest of 14 children. From the beginning, music ran through her veins. With the support of her mother and manager-turned-husband René Angélil, she rose from local French-language hits to win the Eurovision Song Contest in 1988, a moment that catapulted her onto the international stage. But it was in the 1990s that Celine Dion became a household name. Her voice, soaring, sincere, unmistakable, became the sound of weddings, heartbreaks, and triumphs. From the tear-jerking power of Because You Loved Me to the cinematic majesty of It's All Coming Back to Me Now, Celine gave us ballads that felt like lived experiences. And then came My Heart Will Go On, the theme song for Titanic, a song that cemented her legacy in global culture forever. With over 230 million records sold, 5 Grammy Awards, and a Las Vegas residency that redefined modern entertainment, Celine was more than an artist. She was an institution. Her shows were not just concerts. They were emotional pilgrimages for fans. But even legends face storms. In 2016, the loss of René, her soulmate and professional partner, changed everything. The pain was deep, but she faced it publicly, gracefully. Her love for him never dimmed. I feel his presence every day, she once said, and through the pain, she kept singing, because that is what she was born to do. Then came another challenge, one that surprised the world. In 2022, Celine revealed she had been diagnosed with stiff person syndrome, a rare neurological disorder that affects muscle control. It was a heartbreaking revelation, especially for someone whose career depends on vocal strength and physical poise. She had to postpone her world tour, step back from the spotlight, and focus on her health. But this is Celine Dion we are talking about. In 2024, she released I Am Celine Dion, a documentary that offered fans a raw, unfiltered look at her life behind the curtain. Through tears, laughter, and determination, Celine invited the world into her journey, not just as a superstar, but as a human being. The film resonated deeply, not because it was glamorous, but because it was real. She made a surprise appearance at the 2024 Grammy Awards, presenting the final award of the night, and receiving a standing ovation. There was no performance, only presence, and for many, that was enough. Her voice may have paused, but her spirit was louder than ever. Even in the midst of her health struggles, Celine returned to the stage briefly at special events like the Ali Saab fashion show in Riyadh and the NHL draft, reminding the world that while the stage might look different, the fire within remains the same. Her approach to health has been inspiring. Though facing daily challenges, she continues to prioritize movement, vocal care, and moments of joy. She speaks openly about needing time to adapt, not out of fear, but out of honesty. "This is my new reality," she said, "but I am not giving up." And that is why fans are emotional. Because when Celine Dion sings, or even simply speaks, people listen. Because they know that behind the glitter and gowns is a woman who has faced love and loss, who has risen time and again, who continues to walk forward even when the path is uncertain. So what is next for Celine Dion? Perhaps not a stadium tour, but maybe something more powerful. Peace, reflection, a continued relationship with fans that is less about perfection and more about presence. Her message today is not just in lyrics, it is in living. In choosing courage over comfort, in embracing the moment, in honoring the journey. Celine Dion's voice has been the soundtrack of so many lives, and now, as she navigates this deeply personal chapter, she is showing us that strength is not just hitting high notes, it is facing hard truths with grace. It is loving fiercely. It is rising again and again. Now it is your turn. What does Celine Dion mean to you? Has one of her songs helped you through a tough time or marked a beautiful moment in your life? Share your story in the comments and help us celebrate the heart, legacy, and enduring light of a true music legend.